Get ready, get ready. We are live, Steve.
Yes, we finally made it back after 2 weeks.
That's right. Did you guys miss us?
I did.
You missed them, right?
Yes.
Mostly miss Kevin.
Yes.
All right. Well, Kevin is starting up, looks like he's starting up his iMac quest again, Steve. He's threatening Mipples.
Well, it is that time of year.
It's that season.
It's the iMac season. The season's for giving.
He says, I can pick locks. Mipples should look over her shoulder often. Sandy says, poor Mipples. I bet she's trembling in terror. Kevin, it's all I'm saying. Oh, Sandy forgot the date and came to the live chat room. Oh, poor thing. Well, let's see. We got Steve and Kevin and Brett and Kevin and Dan and Daniel and Joe and Rose and Sandy. And we got a listener review from Joe or from Daniel, but it's not Dan Vetz and it's not Daniel Princen. It's neither one of you guys, but it's amazing. You guys are gonna love this. I'm going to check something really quick because I sent this review to somebody and I want to see what they said about it because it is priceless. Oh, that's not it. That's not what I wanted to see. Nope, they didn't write back what I wanted to see. All right. Let's see if people can hear me. Let me arm a track and do a recording here. Build to start record. Oh, stop with that. Yes, I armed the track. There it is. Yeah, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, June 11th, 2017, and this is show number 631.
That didn't sound like your normal opening.
I was just testing to see if anybody could hear it.
You're just testing to see if we're listening?
Yeah. Wait, if 27-inch iMac is AU $2699, pretty sure. Oh yeah, the Mac Pro starts at $5,000.
Yeah, just under 5, I think, or just over, right around 5.
I'm on a 50-inch TV. How are you doing that, Kevin? Are you airplaying from something else?
Right, airplaying from an iPad.
Wow. Yeah,
it's not
50K. Big. Oh, I like it. Big is okay. Hi, George. How are you? All right. All right.
Brett said you said Saturday, June 11th. So, but it was just a test recording.
Oh, good thing it is a test. Well, I think we're, if everybody could hear me, that proves Brett could hear it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. That's your cue, dear. Goodbye.
To unmute or to mute. Yes. Muting now.
Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is June. Nope. Thanks, Brett. Brett screwed me all up. It's Brett's fault.
Mipples joined the chat room. Wow. Making an appearance. Nice.
Oh, yeah, that's so funny.
Excellent.
Actually, is Mipple still here? Oh, we do have a new ornament up here. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but that is Steve got me a new microphone box. You know how what flag? Mic flag, they call it. You know how the cool kids have like NBC on the end of their mic? Mine has a NosillaCast flag, and Steve got me a new one with the new lighter blue.
Woo-hoo.
It's your birthday, Brett. Happy birthday. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, June 11th, 2017, and this is show number 631. Well, we're back from our big adventure to Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Parks. I simply cannot believe that it took me 59 years to get around to seeing them. They're both absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it was like being on another planet. They're so amazing. And I felt especially dumb about not going there sooner because it was like a half a day of flying and a little bit of driving. And yet the parks were filled with people from Europe and Asia. They'd gone halfway across the globe to see this amazing thing. And we just kind of never gotten around to it. Anyway, before we left, David Roth told me that we would be amazed. And he told me I was required and obligated to say, Dave was right. Well, I wanted to give you a follow-up on the story I told you about a few weeks ago about Ring, makers of the Ring Video Doorbell and the Floodlight Cam that we like so much. As you may recall, I discovered that their Mac desktop app was causing my browser to launch and go to 2 tracking sites and then cause pop-ups on screen. Even worse, their site misleadingly said that the app was in the Mac App Store, while in fact it is a zip file download. I also told you that at one point they told me that they'd been accepted into the Mac App Store and then later on admitted that they weren't even pursuing the Mac App Store. About a week and a half after I notified Ring of the problems, they finally came out with a new version of the Mac app that got rid of the auto launching of the browser and the pop-ups. That was good, but they still hadn't changed the link on their website that claimed it was a Mac App Store app. I continued to pester them offline, but finally, after 2 full weeks, I took to Twitter. I mean, we're talking about a 30-second fix to change the icon that says it's Mac App Store app. Literally 30 seconds. And I know it's that fast because I was watching TV. I was watching Star Trek, as one does, and somebody sent me a message saying that there was a problem on one of the links on my website, and I fixed it while I was watching the show. Took me 30 seconds. So I knew that's all the time it would take. But here it is 2 weeks later, and they still hadn't fixed it. So I kind of slammed them on Twitter and got a lot of people riled up, but I don't think that necessarily had any effect. But I do want to say that as of 2 days ago, I was able to verify that they had finally fixed the graphics so it doesn't claim that the link takes you to the Mac App Store. Now, I'm conflicted on how to think about Ring because I love the hardware and I love the video capability. I mean, the way all of it works is just fabulous. Their hardware purchase price is really competitive. Like the Ring Video Doorbell is only $200. I forget how much the Floodlight Cam is, but it's not a lot more than that. And their cloud storage of videos is very reasonably priced. I think it's $30 a year per device. So we're talking $60 a year for both of the video cameras we have going. On the other hand, they've shown to be a company in disarray on messaging, and they don't seem to mind misleading their customers, which is kind of a downside. Now, they did fix the problems in the end, and the CEO, by the way, did circle back with me to ensure that I had gotten the new app and that I was satisfied with the solution. So that kind of put them back in the good column. Overall, all I can say is that Ring is no rogue amoeba, but I do like their products. Well, Chit Chat Across the Pond this week is one of the light variety, but it's actually with Bart Busschots. It's been a year since he came on and told us about his quest to lose weight and become more healthy with the use of technology. He has achieved his goal and has some philosophy to share about how to go after this problem that so many of us face. He talks us through the tech as well, explain what works for him and what doesn't. Of course, Bart included detailed notes of everything he talked about over at bartbusschots.ie. The best part of the discussion is at the beginning where he says, I was right. Anyway, check out this episode in the new Chit Chat Across the Pond light feed, or you can find it in the full Chit Chat Across the Pond feed in your podcatcher of choice. This week, we have a wonderful listener review by Daniel Semro, and I'd like to play that for you right now. All right. Save. All right, where am I? NC audio. Why do I keep these separate? Is there any reason for that? NC app. Uh-oh, Mipples is leaving?
Mipples has left.
What happened?
Hey, that update on Ring, I didn't see a blog post on that. Is that not a separate post?
No, it's just what I just said right now.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't do a whole thing. This is so cute. You guys are going to die. This is just the cutest thing ever. I love it. All right. Just line up. Maybe right there. Well, this week we have a wonderful listener review by Daniel Semro, and I'd like to play that for you right now.
Hi, Nosella Castaways. My name is Daniel Semro, and this is my first time submitting a review, so I'm a bit nervous, but I'm super excited because I'm going to do a review of an app that many people like me who listen to the show, many blind people will be probably familiar with. I know that this show isn't geared toward blindness, but since I am a blind person, I thought I would do a blind person related review. Okay? So,
Now playing and unplayed.
sorry about that. That was my iPad talking. Okay.
Podcasts. Audio
I'm
extras.
going
Microsoft
to show you
one app. Photography.
how
2 apps.
a blind
Microsoft
person
Google Apps and related Google Stuff folder. 1 app.
Actually, I thought I edited
Actions
that
available.
Oh.
Writing page 2 of 3.
Okay, hang on.
Writing stores folder. 2 apps.
I'm going to show you how
Okay.
a blind person
I did not save the right edited version. Dagnabbit. Because I edited that out, that part where he messes all up. I'm going to have to check this again. Hang on. I suppose I could do it there. Maybe I'll do it in.
What do you mean do it? Are you going to re-edit the file?
Yeah, I'm going to cut out the part where he does the same thing twice.
Oh, I thought you made a lot of edits.
Yeah, I made 2 or 3. Shoot. I saved it as a separate file, as an edited file, but it's not.
What's the edit date?
Let's see. Yesterday at 1:13, and the original was on June 8th. I mean, I even put it in the. I'm going to open this up in Fission because I'm just a little more comfortable doing the edit there. But why did it not? Oh, I bet it when I merged it back together. Audio through. Let's send it to pass through. I think I can hear pass through. Let's try this. Nope. I can, you guys can probably hear that, and I can't.
Nope. Can't hear it.
Okay, nobody can hear it. All right, I'll do it in here. Yeah, shoot. Let's see. We have to do it here.
This is my first time submitting a review, so I'm a bit nervous, but I'm super excited because I'm going to do a review of an app that many people like me who listen to the show, many blind people will be probably familiar with. I know that this show isn't geared toward blindness, but since I am a blind person, I thought I would do a blind person related review. Okay? So.
Okay, it's right there. I cut from there. I think it's all the way to there. Ah, phooey. Where is here?
Yeah, I remember you cutting that.
A blind person related review. Okay?
Yeah, I cut it right after that. Yeah, so I think I don't understand how Fission does its edits. I did a split. Shoot, that isn't what I wanted to do. Okay, it's X. There we go. See how that goes.
Person related review. Okay? I'm going to show you how a blind person would go about subscribing to a podcast. So we're going to essentially do a review of the Podcasts app from a blind person's perspective. So,
Google Extra Audio folder.
I'm going to one finger double tap on audio. Again, I'm using VoiceOver, so yes, he will hear speech.
Audio. Heading. Text field.
And I'm going to go to podcasts.
Fine.
I know I could.
Sorry.
0. Podcasts.
Let me cut that while I'm at it. I think that's that. Yeah. Damn it. Keep hitting the wrong key. X. There we go. Rid of that cough.
To go to podcasts.
Fine.
Sorry.
0. Podcasts. 13 new items.
I'm gonna one finger double tap on that.
Actions available. Podcasts. Add button.
I think he's got the sound slowed way down for us too.
Search tab.
I just tapped.
Okay, and I think that. Yeah, I had this all nice and crisp
Available.
up.
Podcasts. Add. Button. Search. Tab.
Oh, sorry about this, you guys. This was much crisper.
Search. Tab.
I just tapped toward the bottom of my screen on the search tab, and I'm going to double tap on there.
Search. Heading.
Okay, where? X. There we go.
There.
Got some long gaps in here. I edited this like crazy too.
I'm going to flick right once,
Search.
This is
Search
funny when you
field.
get to the punchline.
double tap to edit,
Search field is editing.
and okay. We'll do one for you Apple fans. How does that sound? Mac Break Weekly.
Inserted Mac Break Weekly.
And then Allison, I'll do one for you after this.
Search. Search. Heading. Mac Break Weekly. Search field. Clear in loading. In clear text. Button.
Okay. Let's get rid of that. We're almost done, guys. There we go.
Loading. In clear text. Button. Proxy graphic search large. Image. No results for Mac Break Weekly.
Oh, man.
Mini player. No clear text. Button.
Well,
Search
drat. I was hoping to...
Suggestion.
okay.
Search field. Was search. Character mode.
Oh, let's see. SMR podcast.
Inserted
Okay.
SMR podcast.
Don't know if they're on
Period.
iTunes or not, but
Search.
it's worth a look.
Heading. SM clear select podcasts. Podcast episodes. Podcasts.
Let's go to podcasts.
Podcasts. SMR podcast. Rod Simmons. Rob Dunewood. Chris Ashley. May 18th, 2000. SMR.
Allison, you're gonna love me for this
SMR
because
podcast.
I know this is one of your favorite shows. So
SM share.
I know
Rod
I'm doing
podcasting.
this just for you.
5-star. Subscribe. Button. Subscribe.
And I have to say,
Unsubscribe.
thank you
button.
for this because this is one of my favorite shows too. Alright guys, so that's how a blind person would go about finding and subscribing to a podcast.
Speech on. Pause record. Done. Dimmed.
Thank you all for listening. I hope you have
Okay, this was the really hard edit. And then we have to do this again because he starts playing that. Let's see. That's pretty harsh. I'm almost done, I promise. Did it have to do this before?
Speech on. Pause record. Done. Dimmed.
thank
Are you taking the volume down on that?
I'm going to get rid of it.
Ah.
Like I did the first time. What is happening there? What is that? Yeah, I got to think about how that does that. The tricky bit is he talks right as she's talking, or as the voice is talking.
Speech on. Dimmed.
thank you all.
Ah, I did get it. That's good. Okay. Editor is good, but it's got one thing I don't like, and it's right there. Let's see how that works.
Podcast.
Dimmed.
Thank you all for listening. I hope you have enjoyed it. And Allison, I hope you have a good trip this week, okay? Be safe. Bye guys.
Okay. Is that cute? I loved it. Okay. Now we're done with that.
That may have been your youngest review.
I think it
Reviewer.
is. I think it was. Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Yep.
And I'm guessing he did that by himself.
Yeah. How old do you guys think he is? He actually has a 2 YouTube channels too. I'm guessing maybe 10.
10, 11, maybe 12.
Yeah. All right. Let me get going here now. Yeah, I don't know, Daniel. What do you think? His voice, he sounds pretty young. We were guessing 10 or 11. All right, here we go. Let's see.
Bye guys.
Well, I think that was awesome. I love that. I bet you all thought when he said he was going to do one just for me, he was going to do, say, the NosillaCast or maybe Chit Chat Across the Pond. But picking my favorite podcast, the SMR podcast, to listen to was even better, I thought. Thanks so much for sending that in, Daniel. By the way, Daniel has 2 YouTube channels if you want to go check out more of his content. And of course, there are links in the show notes. One of them is called Daniel S. Music Covers. And then there's his main channel. It's called simply Daniel Semro. All right.
Wait, this wasn't the Daniel we know, is it?
No, Daniel Semro.
I'm joking.
Yeah, he
It
probably
is a-
doesn't want to be called cute. I get that, George, but I tried not to, but his voice is so good. So let's see. We got to find what you can't do without data. I'm going to make everybody mad. And my next thing is going to be the one about waste, Steve.
Oh yeah, that's gonna get some reaction.
Yeah,
You're gonna
we'll see.
explain yourself?
As well as I did in the article.
All right.
All right, here we go. But that's not this one. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this past week, Steve and I went on our big adventure to Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Parks. It was a glorious trip that we've been planning to do literally for decades with our friends Diane and Bill. There was one thing for which I was unprepared, and that's that we would have basically zero internet on the trip. We traveled 750 miles in 7 days, and for about 80% of that, we had no cell service even at all on AT&T. Diane and Bill have Verizon, and it was much better for them, but still maybe 50% of the time they had nothing at all. Oddly, sometimes we'd see 4 or 5 dots of cell service, but they'd be hollow instead of filled in on our phones, but the signal would say 4G. I mean, what do empty dots mean anyway? I can tell you what they don't mean. They don't mean you can post to Facebook, that's for sure. Well, our hotel claimed that they would have Wi-Fi in the common areas, but they were just lying about that on their website. There was no Wi-Fi at all. I mean, they didn't even pretend to have it. I found it ironic that we had so little access on this trip when we had really good cell service while we were in Peru. Heck, when we hiked the 6 miles up to the ancient Incan city of Machu Picchu, we had great cell service. Well, you know, the Incans were an advanced society, so I guess that's part of it. I stole that joke from somebody. I don't remember who. Well, anyway, Steve was able to post a photo while on the top of Machu Picchu. It's odd to me that in the United States, we couldn't get a tweet out to save our souls. Well, it was really frustrating when we saw grizzly bear mama and her 2 cubs and got crazy good photos of them and weren't able to show them to anyone but each other. There were odd things that we couldn't do that were pretty interesting beyond just the typical things. So I wanted to talk through what you can't do without internet when you live in the Apple world. Well, first of all, we had to use paper maps like it was 1972. Well, luckily, the parks had pretty good maps, and I think I learned a lot more about the area because I was forced to study them and really pay attention to signs and distances. Bill is a crazy map guy, so he was in heaven, and he was kind of proud of my attention to the map, so it was actually pretty fun. Now, you know, I don't listen to music under normal circumstances, but would have been great to have music on a trip like this. The 4 of us have iPhones, and all of us have access to Apple Music. The SUV we rented, which was a GMC Acadia, had CarPlay. We were super excited to give that a try. I plugged my phone in, and I had only one album that was downloaded from the cloud. It's an album called West Coast Cool, by the way. Well, my forced audience locked in the car with me liked the album pretty well, but 30 minutes later, we were done with my phone. I could have sworn, though, that I had downloaded some songs locally, more than the one album, but evidence suggested that I was wrong. I plugged in Steve's phone, and oddly, he only had about a half dozen songs locally on his phone as well. Confused, we plugged in Diane's phone. Diane had done a lot of work on Apple Music to ensure that she had downloaded many, many songs from the cloud to local storage, but none of the songs were on her phone either. Now, Bill doesn't use Apple Music normally, but evidently he must have connected at some point to the shared account he has with Diane because all of his music was gone from local storage too. Now, you could assume that I'm an idiot and I didn't do my music correctly. But how could Diane, Bill, and Steve have all done it wrong too? I would suggest that 4 grown-up people with 7 degrees between them not getting Apple Music to work is maybe not our fault and is kind of a bad interface. Well, now the next one seems obvious, but communications between our 2 couples was really hard without internet access. For example, at one point, Steve and I wanted to go on this 3-mile hike along the cliff above Yellowstone Canyon and down 328 stairs to Tom's Landing and back up to get a good view of the lower Yellowstone Falls. Diane and Bill were less enthusiastic about this idea and decided to drive to the other end of our hike and meet us partway down the trail. Sounded like a really good plan. Except when they got to the other end and parked the car and walked back to start the trail, it was closed at their end. They had no way to get in touch with us at first. Eventually, as we hiked along, their attempted telegram message did squeak through to us, so we knew where to meet up. Sadly, my message back to them never got there. Well, speaking of messaging, once I did have a tiny smidgen of cell service on that hike, suddenly Bart was able to start telling me all about the WWDC keynote. It was surreal to be hiking in the wilderness with a spectacular waterfall in front of me and be learning about drag and drop coming to iOS 11. But here's the real weirdness. He was sending me these messages over Telegram, and they came in on my Apple Watch, which was great. But when I dug out my iPhone, they were not in Telegram. I have absolutely no explanation of how this could be, since the Apple Watch only gets its information from the iPhone. There's no cellular radio in the Apple Watch. So how could it get a message on that the iPhone had not received? If there'd just been a little lag in displaying the iPhone, it might have made sense, but hours later, the phone still didn't have the message. They eventually did roll in on the phone, but I don't know, the whole thing was very weird. Now, I know Bart says he just can't bring himself to talk to his devices, but with the Apple Watch, I love using Siri to tell my phone and watch to do things for me. Guess what you can't do without an internet connection? You can't ask Siri to set up a wake-up alarm. Yeah, even though the clock is actually on the phone, she is unable to do this without internet. I've also really started to love saying, "Hey Siri, start an open outdoor walk." All it has to do is open an app and select the appropriate workout. But no, without an internet connection, it means tapping away on the watch, again, like an animal. Now, did you know that you can't even make a phone call to someone in your contacts if you use AirPods? You can only use Siri with AirPods, and she's too dumb to find a contact in your actual phone without an internet connection. I mean, it's right there. It's in your phone. Well, in the keynote of WWDC, they talked about how they're going to have on-device machine learning. My first two requests are that Siri learn machine learning how to look up a phone number and set an alarm. You think they have the engineering talent to have her figure that out? It's ridiculous. Well, without an internet connection, how do you find out whether the beasts you're seeing in Yellowstone are buffalo or bison? By the way, we figured out later they are bison, but I had to rename a lot of photos because I'd written buffalo on all of them. We saw a giant herd of bison at one point, and oddly, it appeared that they were all boys because even the ones shepherding the calves, they all had horns. Then Diane thought, what if girl bison have horns? We had no way to look that up and solve this question. I mean, it was an important question. It kind of reminds me of when Dr. and Mrs. Gary went with us to Kings Canyon, and we had no internet on that trip. We played a game all week that we called Making Stuff Up. In the normal world, if you say something totally wrong or ridiculous, someone whips out their phone, looks it up, and then challenges you. But when you have no internet, you can make up anything you want, no matter how absurd, and nobody can prove you wrong. We played a lot of making stuff up in Kings Canyon. Well, there's also critical access to information. Because they got 600 inches of snow in Grand Teton this year, and because they're having an early summer, they're starting to have flooding in the valley. It didn't affect us, but as we were leaving, there were roads about to be washed out and campgrounds closed as a result. At another point, we also smelled a fire one night in Yellowstone, and we had no way of finding out if it was something minor, but that had been dealt with maybe, or the start of some giant forest fire. Steve saw the sky turning very red at sunset when he was out, and the hotel staff didn't seem to be sure about what was going on. Would have been swell to have access to park information. Well, also, while we were gone, Tracy Bossells tweeted to me about the release of Affinity Photo for iPad. I have been waiting for this app for ages, and I was thrilled about its release. But I couldn't buy it because it was a miracle I even got Tracy's tweet. But it gets worse. At the airport, I had enough Wi-Fi to download the app. As we waited for our flight, we got to the airport like 3 hours early, which was totally unnecessary, but everybody was calm, so that was good. Anyway, I'm sitting at the airport and I started to watch the video tutorials that are embedded in the application. It was great. I was learning. It was fantastic. We got on the plane, and after we got the green light to turn on electronic devices, I tried to play a tutorial, and I couldn't because it required and internet connection. Well, after that litany of things we couldn't do because we didn't have internet, there was one big upside to that. We couldn't follow politics for almost a week. Whew.
And that was a real shame.
Yeah. Hey, Steve.
Yeah, I noticed
many-
the text. Oh, you're going to say something else. Never mind.
I don't know. Why don't you go?
Okay, the text in your post for one of your bullets is much larger than the others.
That's not what I noticed. What I noticed was many, many, many places, the end of the sentence is a period, and then immediately the next word starts. The spaces are gone. Did you edit that?
No, I didn't.
Do a search for, we were super excited to give it a try. I plugged in my
I
thing.
see it, but I haven't edited this. Interesting. So I'm not sure. I don't normally deal with text size. Is that obvious in WordPress?
I don't see any text size difference, but I'm not looking right at the website. So,
all right, we'll go back and look at that.
Yeah. Fixed period spaces.
But it's not everywhere. Some of them look fine.
Yeah, that's why I suspected you of doing it.
Yeah, I see a question mark also with no space.
Yeah, there's one question mark. That is weird.
Yeah.
Oh, Daniel, you did Tetons 2 years ago. Wasn't it amazing?
Yeah, I think that was kind of a sleeper surprise. I did not expect that type of scenery and wildlife and views, vistas, hikes.
Yeah, it was
amazing. Really nice.
Astonishing. Actually, I can show you guys something just because you guys come to the live show. So apparently in about 1980, my parents went to Grand Teton and had this picture taken. So Dan, this is a picture of my father pointing at a mountain and my mother hugging him, and she's got on her little red beret. She was very into red. I'm holding an angle because it does that otherwise. And she's, the best part about this is look at her foot. She's got her foot out like with this very jaunty little angle she's got it at. And we decided to make a quest to try to find this photo, and we succeeded. So we went into every single turnout looking for this curb and this walkway. And it was really hard to find the exact angle because it turns out the Tetons changed their view completely depending on what angle you're at. Like you can't see certain mountains. They really kind of go in front of and back of each other. But the funny part was towards the end, when we were still looking for it, Diane said, wait a minute, look right here. See all those tiny little trees there? What if those are big trees now? And when we finally found the photo, the trees are like this. They're huge when we found the angle. So it came out really, it was really a fun little quest. And it was pretty emotional for me to get to do it. Cause it was, my mother had that picture on the wall till the day she died. She had that up, but even when she had moved in a tiny little room. So it was pretty swell.
Did you show him the shot that we did?
I didn't. I don't think I have it up anywhere yet.
Okay.
I could at the end. Let's see if there's time at the end. Remind me.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Ooh, I can smell the rice cooking. All right. Oh, that works. That's kind of neat. Okay, here we go. Did you see the guitar glacier on the mountain from the lodge? No. Guitar glacier? We saw a glacier. Oh, John's here. Hi, John. When did you sneak in?
Yeah, we actually saw several glaciers, but some of them they classified them differently. Remember when we took the boat ride in Lake Jackson, I think it was.
Yeah.
And there were areas below the Tetons and some of the other mountains. I don't remember any of those being called Guitar Glacier, but it was probably one of those.
Yeah, I wonder. We didn't.
The frets melted off.
The frets. Oh, geez, George. Here. Okay, what do I need? Oh, I need to do it here. Here we go. I was trying to decide whether to tell this story on the podcast, and I don't know.
Not tech enough for you?
I don't know. It's kind of personal. Okay, photos is not coming up as an option. That's weird. I'm going to have to share my entire screen. Okay, can you see it?
I can see it.
Oh, where did it go?
That's a lot of Tesla.
That's a lot of Tesla. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. There. Oh, where are we? So here's the original photo. I can make that bigger. We'll embiggen it, as Bart would say. There's the original photo. And then this is us trying to take pictures, all different locations. We thought maybe it was flipped. That was a good one. There's my friend Dinah Bell trying to pretend it. Here we are at trash cans. And that's the actual picture. That's precisely where it was.
So you might want to explain about the aspens, because it looks quite different.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did. So, yeah, that was, so these giant trees are these little baby trees in the bottom left.
Sandy noticed the toe.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Yeah, in the toe. Well, you see, we're doing the toe in all of these. Even Diane's got the toe. Oh, the funny part was we were doing this at one of these spots. I think it was here. And this tour bus with a bunch of people from Asia who were speaking some other Asian language came up, and they started doing that with their toes. They were posing.
In fact, there were a lot of people that were doing it. I don't know if you noticed, but there were 5 or 6 people.
Were there really?
Yeah.
Pointing. Oh, I only saw one woman do it.
Like it was the pose you do at this site. You started something.
Oh, too funny. Anyway, oh yeah, we should explain to Dan that yeah, one of those we're standing in front of a bunch of trash cans. We were just taking the picture everywhere. All right, I should keep recording. It is 5:36.
It kind of became a meme.
A meme, yeah. All right. Okay, here we go. Whoa. Some choppers going by. Okay, here we go. Tim Jar wrote a comment on the blog after listening to Bruce Wilson and me on a recent Chit Chat Across the Pond. I'd like to read his comment to you for a couple of reasons. First, that I agree with almost everything that he said, maybe all of what he said, and I'd also like to clarify with the context I should have added when I said what I said. During the conversation with Bruce, I referred to IT as waste. So here's what Tim wrote. I was bummed to hear you throw out the old line about IT being waste. I do understand that it does not in and of itself generate a profit, but the filing of things like IT and maintenance as waste or some kind of financial drain, to me, contributes to the mindset that we see in many executives and employees of other departments where IT and these groups are viewed as unimportant or not worth listening to. It's how we get into the very scenarios you referenced where something like WannaCry is released and is able to do huge damage because things like patching servers or having good backups are waste generated by the IT department. Not to mention that most companies would have a hard time making the products if they had no internet access, no network, no security in place, had to build their own computers, etc. I know support departments like IT aren't what directly makes the profits, but without them, it'd be pretty difficult to run your company or make a profit. There's a healthy balance to strike of doing what's necessary to help engineers and salespeople do their job, but not letting them have whatever they want if it's going to open up your company to ransomware, having their email servers blacklisted, or having no backups for when an engineer or salesperson accidentally deleted a whole directory worth of critical data. I can't speak for every IT person, but I personally don't need to be championed or celebrated or even publicly acknowledged for doing my job. I actually kind of enjoy the anonymity and keeping the things running that everyone expects to always run. But when we're called waste or a cost center, or even just encounter the attitude that we're trying to prevent others from doing their job, it's really disheartening. Okay, so I'm really glad that Tim wrote in regarding my flippant comment about IT being waste. His points are spot on, and I do not disagree with anything he said. IT is a critical service to the success of any company. It's not enough to hire capable network and security engineers. They must be adequately funded and supported by management to be able to succeed at securing the company's assets. No better example of that is Yahoo, where from what I understand, they had a competent IT staff, but they were not only not supported, but they were mocked by management. They were referred to as the paranoids. With a culture like that, it's not surprising that Yahoo was hacked and lost 1 billion user accounts. Now, I want to make sure you guys understand, I spent 24 of my 35 years of gainful employment providing IT services, so I absolutely understand the problems with looking at IT as waste, and especially seeing it as a cost center. Now, let me explain the context that I should have included in my waste statement. Many years ago, I took a Six Sigma class where we learned many techniques to evaluate the value of steps and processes in our business. We were learning to identify waste in order to streamline our operations. Anything that did not add value to the end product was waste. In that class, I asked a clarifying question about something specific my IT function provided. And the instructor answered me by saying, everything you do is waste. Well, my reaction was exactly as Tim describes here, and I began to argue with him. And I basically derailed this class. It was a 4-hour class. I took up 40 minutes arguing with this guy. I didn't care who else was in the class because I did not buy it. But at the end of that 40 minutes, I was bought in hook, line, and sinker that IT does not add value to the end product, and by its very definition, that is waste. I think I could explain this by a real-life example. Back in the day, let's say a program needed a server. In our world, the engineer would work with our sysadmin to determine their need in terms of RAM, CPU, disk space, and network connectivity. The engineer would communicate these requirements to their organizational contact to ensure funding was available. That coordinator would circle back to us, the IT organization. We would then contact the hardware vendor and get a quote for the product. We would then generate a purchase order for the hardware. The hardware would be built and shipped to us, where shipping personnel would move it to our lab. Our system admin would unpack the boxes, set up the hardware, and install the operating system and required software. Now, let's look at how someone gets a server today. In the outside world, at least, you can go to a site like DigitalOcean or Linode, use some pull downs to choose how beefy you need your hardware, choose to have them install the OS or allow you to do it. And about 6 minutes later, and that's accounting for 3 minutes to find your credit card, you are working on your new server. Now, it's hard to look at the work that was done in the old school example and say it wasn't waste, isn't it? If in an ideal condition, the work didn't even have to be done, then that work is waste. That process is waste. Now, unless IT is part of the actual product you're selling, the work done by IT doesn't make your end product faster. It doesn't make it more secure. It doesn't make it have better features. It doesn't make it lighter. It doesn't make it stronger. Again, if your product includes IT services, like let's say you're selling a cloud component and servers that house this cloud service, then the IT part is not waste. The work Linode does to build their servers, that's not waste because that's what they're selling to me. But if IT is there to help your employees go faster, make products less expensive, maintain your company's intellectual property, see Sony hack, and maintain the privacy of your employees' health and social security data, then it is waste. Now, I got in a discussion with someone on the blog, I think it was Jim Sewell, I'm trying to remember, where he was saying, well, what if your IT staff keeps your server from, it has to bring your server back up if it crashes? Well, I said, well, it's better and less wasteful if it doesn't crash in the first place. So in the old days, let's say it crashed once a week and you needed 10 people to keep it up. Then you improved your processes, you improved the way you were building it, doing things, and then it only crashed once a month and you only needed 4 people. And then pretty soon it was only 6 months, you only needed 1 person. Well, by definition, those other 9 people, those people, the work they were doing was waste, and therefore that last person's work is waste. It's just not added value. And that doesn't mean it's wasteful. It doesn't mean the work isn't critical to be done. But if you can make it be 0, it's better. And I absolutely know how hard this is to get this concept in. But once you own this concept that everything you do is waste, it frees you to think of ways to not just speed up or streamline what you're doing, but rather eliminate those tasks completely, even if it means working yourself out of a job. That's a pretty scary thought, but it actually does work. She does work. I went off script there.
So check out the link that Daniel put in the chat. It's pretty cool. Well, he was saying it's the glacier that he was talking about. It turns out it was Frying Pan.
Oh.
And when you see it, I think you'll recognize it.
Oh, wow. It looks more like a guitar to me.
Well, that's what it is.
Wow. You know what? Well, it might have been that there was so much snow, Steve.
Yeah, our view is quite different. There's a lot of snow right now.
Yeah.
His looks a little more melted.
But look at your
that's Mount Moran.
It is Mount Moran. Okay, well, that is the glacier they showed us.
Yes.
But it was basically everything was white, and you're like, well, which part is the glacier?
Right. It's a little harder to make out.
Pretty cool. Let's have my photos up. We could go look. Let's just fool around the whole time. Actually, I should finish the show first. We can talk about that after. I want to think about my last line there. but it actually does work. That's a pretty scary thought, but yeah, I like that ending. That's a pretty scary thought, isn't it? Self out of a job. That's a pretty scary. Yeah, there. There we go. Self out of a job. That's a pretty scary thought, isn't it? All right.
Very proud of you for not saying "isn't it."
Isn't it? So I don't know where my family got this, and I don't hear other people say it, but it used to bother me until I realized my mother and my brother say it too. We don't say "isn't it?" We say "isn't it?" That's a scary thought, isn't it? I don't know why. It's my mother's fault. She started it. Okay. Steve, you should look at your photos and see if you can find that. All right. I'm gonna,
Glacier.
Grant? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I need new cables or something. I'm getting a crackling. Are you hearing that every once in a while?
No.
I am. Wait, what is that? Did somebody just DM me? Or somebody oh no, there. I sure hope my bank
Kevin
and broker don't outsource to click on buy a server with a credit card. Why not? How you mama them? How you mama and them? Oh my gosh, what's his name on Little Big Shots was doing that to a little kid. It was hilarious. He had a kid on that was won a bunch of spelling bees. He's like super good at spelling and everything, and he was trying to get him to spell things like that. Yes, cloud computing, running your stuff on someone else's computer, absolutely the truth. But actually, Jim Sewell brought that up because the company I worked for, we never would have been able to do cloud computing. But that doesn't mean you couldn't build that within your own company. Have a bunch of servers stood up where you can turn on VMs with a switch that a user just goes in and goes, okay, I need this much compute power. Boom, I'm ready to go. It's the same kind of thing, right? It doesn't have to be from someplace else. All right. Rose is buying a Mac Mini. All right, here we go. This week, I got a note from Klaus Wolf about the ways to support the Podfeet podcast. He made a really good point. He said that every time he hears me say at the end of Chit Chat Across the Pond, this show is supported by Patreon, it bugs him because it misses the point entirely. Patreon is just a method of providing support to the show. The show is actually supported by you, not Patreon. That's such an important distinction, and I'm really glad he pointed that out. I will be re-recording that ending for sure. He also asked for a change to the Amazon affiliate links on the homepage. He pointed out that it's 3 clicks for him to get to the German or UK or Canadian Amazon stores. 1 click gets on support the show, that scrolls you down, then click on outside the US, click here, and then finally he has to click on the flag for the right country. Well, the flags are adorable. Thank you, Stephen Getz. And the page is called podfeet.com/funwithflags, which is just fun to say. That's a lot of extra clicks. He asked whether I could change that line at the bottom to just say CA pipe DE pipe UK and have each one be a link to their own Amazon affiliate link. That would eliminate that entire step. Remember the waste thing? Got rid of some waste. Since Klaus is pretty close to single-handedly spending as much in the German store as the entire United States listeners of the podcast give us, I immediately implemented the change he requested. If you'd like to help support the show, just head on over to podfeet.com and click on support the show and find a way that works for you and your family. My wife did that with IBM for 10 years. Really? Oh, right. Wait, did sysadmin? Or did she do, let's see, where to go? Oh, stop being simple. Pull up some Security Bits music. There it is. I'll do some Security Bits music right there. Uh-oh, what is Kevin doing? He's helping Steve. I don't like the sounds of that. Never a good thing when the two of them start colluding. Right there. Or family. Okay. Where did I save the file? I bet it's still in here. Hope so. Here it is. Move the file into the right folder. Should be in there. Here bits so 2070-06010. And we'll put you right about there. How's that sound? This is a fun security bits this week. Well, that would be more fun if there was audio there. Oh, it's still decoding it. Never mind. Oh, Sandy's gone. Bye, Sandy. Too late. Brett almost made it through an entire show without getting kicked out of the room. Who kicks you out of the room, Brett?
I think he's on an iPad or something, not his normal setup.
Oh, okay. Why is it still decoding? That's
I guess
long.
similar to Kevin.
What's John saying? John has trouble. Let's see.
Yeah, he tried to use your affiliate link and couldn't add to the cart.
Item did not have an add to cart link.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's weird.
We should test that.
Well, people kind of buy all the time. I don't know what I would go test. I do it through.
Ask John John, did you have an ad blocker on?
Well, he's saying he clicked the link, was able to go over and search for what he wanted, but there was no add to cart. That's really strange. Oh, it was an Amazon. Oh, you know what? There's an Amazon outage.
Yeah,
there was Amazon outages right after we got back from the trip, right?
As we were coming back, I think on the 7th.
Yeah. So that might have been the problem.
A lot of errors with Amazon branded error pages. So they knew they had problems. It wasn't just a 404. It was, hey, we're Amazon. We know you can't buy. Hold on. Because they're losing millions of dollars a second.
Can you imagine? Yeah. What did that cost? See, they didn't pay their IT staff enough.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to play it. Yes. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Busschots.
That's the way these things go, right? Because we don't record for 2 weeks, and then we do 2 shows, and then we don't record for 2 weeks. And
then... All right. And I wrote to the Hindenburg people, function, command, right arrow. Boom, right to the end. I never knew how to get to the end of the audio. This is exciting. All right. Finale here. All right, we'll go about right there. Up here. All right, here we go.
Until next time, stay patched and stay secure.
Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. Do not forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions. You can email me at allison@podfeed.com. By the way, I had a friend who listened to the show for years, and he walked in my office one day and he said, "So what's your email address?" I'm like, really? You haven't heard me say that 400 times? Anyway, my address is allison@podfeed.com. You can follow me on Twitter @podfeed. And remember, everything good starts with podfeed.com. You want to go to Patreon? Podfeed.com/Patreon. Want to find our awesome Facebook group? Go to podfeed.com/Facebook. Want to find all the fun over on Google+? Podfeed.com/Google+. You want to get to those Amazon affiliate links? How about podfeed.com/Amazon? And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeed.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NoZilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. And okay, now we need music. Uh-oh. What did I miss? Somebody's talking. Steve's telling me something. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, Hay did not make it to the chat room. It looks like she must have gotten to sleep, which is good. She was going to try to make the show. She's back in the hospital again. That poor girl, man. She cannot catch a break. As though her life isn't rough enough, she ended up with kidney stones so bad they had to be
surgically removed.
Yeah, surgically. I don't understand why they don't do that for everybody, though, personally. I mean, that sounds like a better deal than living through kidney stones.
But they can vibrate them and destroy them if they're small enough.
I don't think that's kidney stones. I think that's another kind of stone.
No, I think it's gallstones.
I want to say it's gallstones. It's something like that.
Can't do that with kidney, huh?
Yeah, I think.
The chat room may tell us.
Yeah, All right, now let's see if I pull that out there and I pull this out here and I go something like that. How's that sound? Twitter @Podfeet. Heard me say that 400 times? Anyway, my address is allison@podfeet.com. You can follow me on Twitter @Podfeet. And remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com. You want to go to Patreon? Podfeet.com/Patreon. Want to find our awesome Facebook group? Go to podfeet.com/Facebook. Want to find all the fun over on Google+? Podfeet.com/Google+. You want to get to those Amazon Nosilicastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. There we go. Yeah, I don't think you can. Because I mean, why wouldn't they do that? Why would we know no one would ever had that done?
They have to be small enough, but that's just what that's not a scientific.
Everybody I know who's had them had to pass them the hard way. And stay subscribed. There we go. All right, file, export. We are a wrap. Okay, so I've got 4 minutes.
You were going to show something, and I could not. I did not take any photos when we were on the lake of the glaciers.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe you did? Hopefully you did.
Why did they have to be on the?
Well, that's the view of Mount Moran up close. Like it was hard to get that view.
Let's see.
I have some distant ones, but it's nothing like Daniel's.
So I took a bunch on the lake, but I don't know if it's that angle. Yeah, that was when we saw him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. Tetons from boat. Water buffalo, Grand Tetons. There we go. Let's see. Where's the lake? So you're saying we wouldn't see him unless we had been on the lake?
No, you could see him. They're just at a distance, and you're seeing many mountains. If you want to isolate Mount Moran with that glacier, you have to be pretty close.
Okay. Well, here's Tetons from boat. Tetons from boat. Tetons from boat.
To the right of that.
There it is.
Mount Moran, but not the right angle. So just there, your cursor's right on it, pretty much.
Yeah, that must be it. But so that's the frets up there, and we never got from another angle. Yeah. There's a thumb.
The broken thumb.
Yeah. I don't think we ever got. Yeah. Now we're out of there. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, now I'm showing my summer vacation. I'll get rid of these people.
Yeah, slideshow, Martha.
All right. I've already gotten rid of people showing my grandson.
Yeah, well, you already got Brett gone.
Got rid of Brett? All right. All right.
Is that Gracie and Tessa's bed?
Oh, it is.
Oh, no.
Can you see her?
Yes.
How can... Oh, I can't see because you're covering it up. Is she right here?
Oh, should I move?
No. The little. Yep. Yeah. Grace has taken over Tessa's. It's terrible. So somebody did say certain kidney stones, depending on the size and location, doctor may recommend a procedure called extracorporeal shock wave lithotripsy. Wow.
Lithotripsy.
Easy for you to say. Have another beer. That break the stones into tiny pieces that can be passed. Yikes. Yeah. This week on kidney stones.
But Kevin says they have to put things in bad places, so it doesn't sound fun.
Yikes. They insert things into bad places. Okay, that's pretty funny. All right. Well, I think I'm done. I am going to produce the show, do the rest of it. It is 5:58. I thank you all for coming. I really appreciate everybody being here. Say goodbye, Steve.
Good night, Gracie. And good night, Kitty.
Bye.
Good night.